I guarantee if you do this, you will have thousands of users and you can potentially make hundreds of thousands of dollars if you do it right. This is every single way of making money on blockchains that I know of. I'm going to put these on a tier list and I'm going to rate these on these 4 scales, starting with capital. So this is how much money you need to actually do the thing. With investing, for instance, the more capital you have, the better. Ideally, you need $0. That's perfect. But some of these things, the more money you have, the better you do. Ease is how easy it is to do. Ideally, I want my mom to be able to do it. That's my standard. If my mom can do it, we are good. Some of these things can be quite difficult to get into, and I'll talk about how and why it's difficult. ROI, this is based not entirely just on capital, but also how much time and energy it takes you. So if you put in a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of effort, how much of that are you actually going to see back? Some of these things will actually make you lose years of your life, and they will probably bankrupt you. So I'll talk about that as well. I'll end with scalability. So not a lot of these things are perfectly scalable. Ideally, you want to be able to earn in your sleep. If I'm sleepy and I'm earning money, that is what I want. That is what all of us want. But some of these things will require you to actually individually DM people and like, hey man, can you please like look at this link and stuff? And that's not good. We don't want to be over here. These scales aren't exactly what the labels say. These are sort of humorous just to make things more fun. This is actually just a rating out of 5, so it's 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 5 or 5 out of 5. So let's get started. First off, with airdrops. Everyone knows airdrops. Airdrops are effectively free money that protocols and apps give you for using them. So if you use an app, you get a free airdrop. The biggest one in recent memory was the Jupiter airdrop on Solana. It was incredible. And I think the lowest tier was 200 Jupe tokens, which is at current prices somewhere around 300 US dollars. Airdrops are pretty good. They don't require a lot of capital. You can get started on Solana for as little as $1. So if you have $1, you would have been in the and you made a swap on Jupiter last year, you would have been eligible for the airdrop, and you would have gotten close to $300, which is pretty good. However, these days, a lot of airdrops, they kind of scale with capital. So the more amount of money you put in these apps, the bigger the rewards. That's also how Jupiter worked. But I'm going to put it low-ish. Not exactly 5 out of 5. I'll give it like a 4 out of 5 or a 3.5 out of 5. So you don't need a lot of capital for airdrops. Now, my mom could probably interact with some of these apps. She would need a bit of guidance. So it's not, again, not a 5 out of 5, but again, let's say 3.5 out of 5. It's easy. You do need to figure out how to use these apps in a safe manner. And if my mom was going to do it, I'd have to give her some guidance. ROI. So this is actually pretty bad for airdrops because there's so many apps to use, so many protocols, and the amount of time and effort it takes you to do these things, and you have to park your money in there, not very good. A lot of these apps might not even do airdrops at all. So you're actually just spending time, spending your money, might not get anything back. So ROI, give it a 1 out of 5. Not very good. You're not going to lose money unless you're using these apps in a very silly manner. But yes, it's 1 out of 5. It's not very good. The scalability, oh, it's tough. It's tough out here. You can't do this in your sleep. Not really. You actually have to use these apps individually one by one. And again, you have to like figure out how to use these apps. If you're writing a script to like symbol these protocols and like to automate all of the airdrop farming, you have to do it on an app by app basis. So it's not exactly please check DM levels, but it's close. I'd give it a 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 5. I am going to put this in C. I want to move this up, because the amount you actually get in airdrops can be quite meaningful. 300 US dollars in most of the world is a very big amount. While it's not S tier and A tier, because it takes a lot of time and it's not very scalable. You have to do one by one. I'm going to give it, let's put it in the middle. Let's go with that. Now, investing. Everyone knows what this is. You put your money in a thing, you wait several months, money goes up. That's investing mostly. It's a bit more than that, but yeah, investing, you need a lot of capital. Again, this is not a $0 to $1 million scale. You do need a significant amount of money to invest, anywhere from $1,000 to several $1,000s. You can invest with as little as $1, but you're not going to get a lot back. So 1 out of 5 really on the investing scale, close to 1 out of 5. Ease. Investing is pretty easy actually. These days, there's a lot of apps that let you do that. My mom could probably do it. So 4.5 out of 5 or 5 out of 5 on investing. Pretty easy. ROI. This one's a tough one. So with investing, it's entirely obviously based on what you're actually investing in. I'm going to put this straight middle. In a bull run, you can make money. In a bear run, you're going to lose money. You can also go bankrupt because you lose all your money because of bad investment. So I'll just put it in the middle. It depends on you entirely. Now, the scalability of this thing, not very scalable. The way to scale it up is by joining a syndicate, which is basically a group of people that you invest with, or a VC fund that invests for you. That's hard to get into. It's not very scalable. You have to figure out who to invest in. Kind of scalable, but not really. So I'm going to give it a C tier rating. Airdrops are easier. Next up, validating. So validating and mining are sort of related. Validating is for proof of stake and mining is for proof of work. Let's start with mining first, because really the only thing you can mine these days is Bitcoin. Nothing else is worth mining at all. Now you do need a bit of capital. Again, 1 out of 5 Bitcoin miners are anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000 these days. I don't even know what they're going for, but yeah, you need it. You need capital. You need space to actually put the miner. So the ease is sort of easy. I don't think my mom could do it, but there are apps that you can just plug into your miners and they work. There's plenty of guides. Not the easiest thing to do, but easy-ish. ROI based on the amount of time it takes to figure out like what miners to buy. It's actually not profitable these days to mine Bitcoin because the costs of electricity in certain or in most parts of the world are high-ish, and it's actually not a very good ROI. You need to hold on to that Bitcoin for years for the price of Bitcoin to go up. So mining is profitable in the bear market. These days, I don't know how profitable it is, and especially after the halving. And yeah, if you have cheap electricity, it's worth it. If not, it's not worth it. I'm gonna put it for most of us, most folks in the world, mining is usually not worth it unless you have free electricity. Scalability, garbage, bro, straight up dog shit. You need a lot of space and you need a lot of miners. I'm gonna put this in D tier. Not very good. Validating. So similar stuff. The costs to entry are slightly lower. So if you're running a Solana validator, for instance, it's going to cost you anywhere from $200 to $300 a month. So it's a recurring cost, not a one-time cost. So you can, purchase a server, or you can use a cloud service that gives you a server online. So not exactly $0, $200 to $300 a month. So over a year, it adds up. It's easy-ish, but not super easy. My mom could absolutely not do it. Running a validator properly and actually like putting time into it, so the ROI, you have to upgrade your validator as well. It's tough, brothers. Let's put this. So the ROI depends entirely on how much stake you have, and it's effectively like running a business. If you've got a good validator that has a lot of stake and you're running the G2 validator, you're getting tips in, the ROI can be pretty good. It can be pretty profitable to run a validator. It depends entirely on you and how you're running the validator. It is possible to lose money running a validator, and it's possible to make money. So I'm going to put it straight in the middle. Scalability. It's pretty scalable, actually. You can just add more stake, and you're absolutely going to be earning money in your sleep. You can run multiple validators, although I don't know why you do that. It doesn't really make sense, but yeah. I'm going to put this above mining, but let's just say it's the same level as investing, because it's like running a business. Cool. Next up, trading. Oh, man. Trading. We all know what this is. You buy a thing, it goes up or it goes down. I don't know. This is effectively day trading. And I'm going to put NFT flipping in the same category. You need capital. Not very good. 1 out of 5 on capital. There's the shitcoin casino, which is pretty good. You can buy shitcoins, meme coins, and you can get lucky, but not very good. Ease. It's kind of easy. My mom could probably do it with popular meme coins. She's not going to be jumping on Radium anytime soon, or Bird Eye. But yeah, it's kind of easy. 4 out of 5. 3.5 out of 5, whatever. ROI, all over the place. Makes no sense to rate it. I will rate it on time. So let's say, for instance, you spend 6 months learning trading. I don't know how good you'd get. That depends on how you are as a human being and the resources you're using. But if you tell me, hey, I'm going to spend 6 months trading versus 6 months learning development, I will tell you every single time to learn development. You'll learn development for 6 months or even 3 months on Solana. I guarantee you'll be getting jobs. So ROI on trading, not very good in terms of time and effort it takes. You have to learn. It can take years to learn. It can take years to be profitable. And statistically, most traders lose money. Not very good. Scalability, leverage, not a good idea. So trading, sits with mining for me. Not very good. I'm not even gonna talk about this one. Everyone's against you when you're doing this. The world is against you. The laws are against you. Exchanges, decentralized, centralized, developers are against you. Everybody's against you. This is not easy. I don't even want to read this, man. If you're watching this video in 2024, you're ahead of 99% of the world. You can do all these other things that will get you way more money than doing this. It's not even worth talking about. It's not worth doing. It's just a bad idea. The ROI is garbage. It's not scalable. It's not easy either, because it's not easy. I'm telling you. Don't do it. Other things are easier. Oof. Now let's talk about arbitrage. So arbitrage, this is balancing markets, making markets efficient. The price of asset X is cheap in one place and it's expensive in one place, so you can buy it from the cheap market and sell it in the expensive market. Arbitrage is literally PvP in the real world. You are fighting other human beings, other bots that are doing arbitrage. It scales with capital generally, but you don't need a lot of capital to get started. Ease, oof, it is not easy. It's hard. It's PvP again. Finding a profitable arbitrage strategy that you're not fighting with other human beings against, not the easiest. However, on Solana, because markets are so new and protocols are so new, there's decent amount of space, so it's not like insanely difficult. It is possible to make a profitable arbitrage bot or algorithm or whatever in relatively small amount of time. Let's say 3 to 6 months, you could probably make a decent bot. Yeah. I will probably be launching a video on arbitrage starter packs. No promises. I'm still trying to figure this out myself. But yeah, stay tuned for that one. ROI, bro, this is money. It's money. It's effectively free money, and it's very scalable. I'm gonna put this up because, yeah, arbitrage is good. However, it's PvP. It's not the easiest. I'm gonna put this alongside investing. It's very ROI can be very good if you're not an idiot and you're not doing things that are bankrupting your bot. ROI can be very profitable, especially on Solana. I feel like I gave the impression that arbitrage is easier than it is. Just letting y'all know, this involves code. There's no automated arbitrage apps. If you're gonna do arbitrage, you have to write code. You have to write sometimes even Rust, mostly even Rust. So it is pretty hard, which is why it's below airdrops. And actually, I'm gonna put it below investing as well. Anywho, moving on. DeFi. This is everything in decentralized finance. You can imagine yield, lending, savings, whatever. That's all in DeFi. This does scale with capital. The more capital you have, the easier it is. But I'm not gonna give it as low as I think because of how safe it can be, especially in the bull run. If you're mostly trading on bigger protocols like in Solana, that's Camino and Margin, they give you pretty good returns. It's pretty easy as well. Yeah. Again, my mom would need a guide on how to interact with these apps. 3.5 out of 5. Capital, let's give it a 2 out of 5. ROI, not insane, but 4 out of 5. It's pretty easy. Scalability, also very good. You can earn in your sleep. Pretty freaking cool. These are the rates for USDC on Solana right now. Margin Fi is giving you 20%. Camino is giving you 22%. Just for parking your USDC in there, that's pretty cool. And in the traditional world, this is unheard of. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna put DeFi in B tier. Yeah, let's just put it in B tier. Why not? Because it's better than all of these things. Now, DePIN. So DePIN is decentralized physical infrastructure networks. With DePIN, you're participating in a physical network. You gotta buy a piece of hardware, and you'll participate in supporting a network. The best example for this is Hivemapper. This is really cool. This is an alternative to Google Maps, where all of the street data and the map data is contributed by users. So what you're looking at over here is a dashboard of all user contributed data, and you contribute data and you get paid for it. It does require a bit of capital, not a lot. It's not zero again. You can get a Hivemapper dashcam, for instance, for about $500. And yeah, it's pretty good. Like, it pays for itself in a couple months. It's really good ROI. So the ROI on this is actually really good. Ease, also very good. I'm absolutely sure my mom could do it. She might again need a guide or two because my mom isn't very technical. But yeah, you can do it. Scalability, not that scalable because the more devices you have, you need to buy much more devices. For instance, the mobile hotspot. So this is another DePIN network on Solana. This is a mobile hotspot that you can put outside of your house, let's say, and people will use this for mobile connectivity. $500, not that expensive. Like, it's kind of expensive, but not insanely expensive. And you get paid for people using your device. Yeah, it's scalable, but based on how much space you have. If you only got one car, not that scalable. If you've got, let's say, if you're an Uber driver or you're a taxi driver and you drive a lot, you do deliveries. I know friends who do Uber in the evenings, and they've got these on their devices, on their cars. It is incredible. Yeah, DePIN's really good. I'm gonna actually put it right up here with DeFi. Really good stuff. You get paid for contributing to networks. Now, DAOs. A DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization, which really just means nothing. A DAO is just a company on the blockchain. They put all of their money on the blockchain, and their people are usually spread around the world. That's really all a DAO is. The way you earn money from DAOs is by simply asking them. So DAOs, again, have all of their money on chain, and people vote. So what you can do is you can give forward proposals. Hey, I will do this thing for your company, for your DAO, for your protocol, for your community. And if that thing makes sense to them, they will approve your proposal. And usually in the proposal, there's a bit of payment to you. So this is one of my favorite DAOs. This is the Nouns DAO. They've had over 500 proposals, and a lot of people have voted on them. The issue with this DAO specifically is you do need money. You do need a noun, which is an NFT, to participate. So the capital requirement for that is pretty high. However, there are DAOs where you don't need a lot of capital, such such as the MetaDAO on Solana. This is really cool. You can make a proposal for not a lot of money. And let me give you an example right here. This is one of my favorite proposals. So this is a proposal by someone in the community to the DAO that, hey, if you give me money, I will do this thing. And they're proposing Futarchy as a service, which is effectively a business project. So they will launch a business project for the DAO. And my favorite part over here is the budget. So based on if the proposal is approved, if the company approves this project, if this proposal, they're gonna get a bunch of money for this stuff. They're gonna get $96,000, and this is gonna be paid out to a bunch of different people. You can't run away with this money because you will get caught if you try to run away. I'm sure there's different allocations, there's different requirements. For instance, KYC requirements. You will be required to prove who you are. For certain now, not all of them, but yeah, this is a pretty decent-ish way of making money. Again, it is PvP, so it can be difficult because you're competing with the rest of the world. You can't just make random proposals and expect them to give you money. You need to understand the problem of the DAO. You need to understand what the DAO actually needs, what's going to benefit the DAO. So capital, not a lot. You can get started for 500 to $1,000. Ease, it's kind of difficult. You need to figure out what they actually need. The ROI can be moderately good. It's not very scalable. So I'm putting it on here primarily just to introduce this video because not a lot of people know what DAOs are and how you can interact with them and how you can work with the treasuries. These are incredible. These are companies that will literally give you money if you do things that benefit them. And you can pay yourself really handsomely. So that's what DAOs are. Moving on, bounties and services. So these are tangentially similar. Services are everything that you can do on chain. You can create NFT art. You can work with a project. You can deploy contracts. You can whatever it is you can think of, right? All sorts of services. That's what this is. The difference between bounties and services is that bounties are in the open. My favorite bounty platform is Super Team Earn. They've got how many 523 bounties listed, and they paid out over nearly $200,000. Some of these bounties are really good. I kind of wish I looked at this earlier. I would have probably taken a stab at it. So yeah, the challenge here is this is PvP. Bounties are PvP. You're competing with everyone else in the world. This one, for instance, has had 28 submissions. Don't let this scare you. Most of these submissions will be garbage. You can actually look at these past submissions. If you go to previous bounties and you look at the submissions, most of these submissions are not very good. So you have decent chances if you know what this thing is. So bounties are really good. And the reason I put bounties above, I'm going to put these over here actually, by the way. I would put bounties above services because when you're doing bounties, you're out in the open. People see you doing work. People see you submitting work. You have a track record. And in the ethos of Web3 and open source, this can get you much farther than just doing things in the back end. Now, the reason services are so far ahead, so let me just start here, actually give these ratings. Capital, you need zero money. It's not the easiest, but it is moderately easy, specifically when you're doing bounties, because look at this bounty right here, right? What is this bounty? You gotta, do a thread recap. You're getting money for doing Twitter thread recaps, bro. This is not it's not very hard. So it's pretty good. Now, scalability, not very scalable, kind of please check DM levels. ROI based on how much time you put in. So really the ROI with bounties is in your identity and who you are as a person. People get to know you as a contributor, and bounties are really good. If I had to choose how to make money, I'm putting these above most of other things because I think this is a net positive for the world. It's a net positive to you. It feels good. You make good money. And yeah, it's moderately easy to get started and you don't need any money. Anyone can do it. Finally, we've got app development. So there's two types of app development on blockchains. The first is front-end app development. This is when you're making websites and you're making mobile applications that interact with programs and smart contracts that already exist on the blockchain. And the second is development of smart contracts on Solana that is in Rust. Talking about front-end app development, this is actually pretty easy to do. You can learn the basics of web development, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in a week. You can learn React in a month. I know people that have deployed applications for a hackathon, having not done any web development in less than a month. It is absolutely possible. So I'm going to give this a 2.5 or even a 3 out of 5. Pretty easy. Capital, it takes no capital. It is free to deploy apps that interact with millions of users. You can absolutely be earning in your sleep. So it scales like insane, like nothing else. Nothing here scales like app development. Software is insane. And the ROI is pretty freaking good. Yeah, you deploy an app, you charge people for it. You can charge whatever you want. Your margins are 99%. It doesn't matter what you charge. To give you an actual S-tier money-making idea, let's say there's an app on chain that everyone needs to use, but is buggy and slow and doesn't work the way we want it to work. what can you do? You can deploy your own version of it. I'm talking about Radium. It is open source. They have an SDK. What you can do is you can deploy your own front end for it. And I guarantee if you do this, you will have thousands of users and you can potentially make hundreds of thousands of dollars if you do it right. I'm guaranteeing this. I will be launching a guide on how you can use the Radium SDK this week, so stay tuned for that one. Now, this is why this is S tier. Straight up, you do this, you make world people's lives better, you make a bunch of money, everyone's happy, and in the end, maybe you even got a job out of it because maybe Radium will hire you so you can fix their things for real. Now, finally, app development in Rust. This is when you write a program that actually does things on chain. Let's say you're deploying a fundraising program that you can charge people for a little bit. You're launching whatever it is you're launching. This is app development. Exact same scalability, scales like insane. The ROI is pretty insane. The one thing I will mention, it is a bit harder Rust development on Solana. It's not insanely difficult, but yeah, it's like a 2 out of 5. There's a lot of resources out there. You just have to be a bit more patient, but it is absolutely possible to still build programs. And really, if you want to do something completely new and completely novel, and you want to build a full-on protocol, a full-on application, a consumer product that earns you millions of bucks, you'll probably have to do a bit of Rust. I'm personally of the opinion that making applications on Solana is amongst the top 5 ways of making money on the internet, not just within blockchain. Straight up, there's not a lot of things on the internet that exist, specifically because there's not a lot of people doing it. Like the amount of, again, bounties and services are also this high because there's not a lot of people that can do this. The demand curve is entirely in your favor. There is so much more demand than there's supply. There's not a lot of front-end developers. There's not a lot of Rust developers. There's not a lot of people that are just doing these things, product managers, whatever it is you want to call it. Web3 has a talent shortage. We've got a bull run in full flow, right? Next 4, 6, 8 months. I don't know. No one knows how long this bull run is going to be. But if you want to make money, this is how you got to do it. If I've missed something, put it in the comments. I'd love to figure it out and maybe even teach you all how to do it. Goodbye. Gotta stay hydrated, y'all.